today's Pilates class. If anyone's new to the classes, I'm Deanna from the Pilates studio, and today we're going to do a mat work class using no equipment, and I'm ready to start if you guys are. So we are going to start lying on our back today. It's going to be a fairly relaxed class. I always say that, don't I? We're going to do a little bit of everything. So feet, knees, hips, and shoulders are going to be lined up. Your arms are going to reach kind of out to the side, palms up, anywhere that's comfortable, and roll your pelvis into a neutral position. So you don't want your low back pressed into the mat, you want it in a neutral position. And just let your shoulders kind of relax from the ceiling and your chest feel like it's just nice and open and wide. And we're going to start with our breathing, which is deep breaths in through the nose and out through your mouth. As you're inhaling, you're trying to send the oxygen nice and low down into the lungs. So think of breathing into the bottom back part of your lungs. So your rib cage is almost expanding into the mat. You're just trying to avoid breathing like right up into your upper chest, into your shoulders and neck. And with every exhale, just releasing the tension through the front of the shoulders. Just trying to really feel a nice widening through the collarbone. And just adding on your exhale, just a small imprint or pelvic tilt. So you've got that little bit of a tilt. Just a very gentle rocking of the pelvis. I don't want you to jam or press the back hard into the mat. It's just a very little bit of a softening almost. And just making sure, checking the knees are still lined up with the hips. They haven't dropped out to the side or they're not touching each other. And going through your full hip roll. So exhaling to tilt through the abdominal, squeeze the glutes and abs and roll the spine up. Breathing in at the top. And then exhaling to roll back through one vertebrae at a time, all the way. Your low back should come down, then your tailbone, and then you're going to roll your pelvis back to neutral. So when you're working through these rolls, slow is always better. Take your time and just think of literally picking every single vertebrae one at a time off the mat, making sure the weight rests in between your shoulder blades, not kind of way up onto the back of the neck. And then the same thing on the way down, you're trying to articulate through each vertebrae one at a time, trying to get through all those tight spots in your spine. When you roll up next time, before you roll down, reach your arms back behind you so your palms are facing the ceiling, and then just roll that way. It's a little bit tighter usually, but it's a nice way to stretch. And then when you roll back up, just reach your arms to the ceiling now. So you've got the arms reaching as you roll up, and then as you roll down, they're back behind you, and you're just stretching through. It takes a little bit more work to roll through. Last time. Perfect. Now when you go back into neutral, take your hands, clasp them behind your head, make sure you can see your elbows in your peripheral vision, and start with your chest lift. So as you're exhaling to lift, you're trying to keep neutral in your pelvis. So just don't jam your low back into the mat. There should be no pelvic movement. The movement comes strictly from the rib cage sliding towards your hips. That's what's flexing you up. A lot of people make the mistake of pulling with their head, and I want you to just think your head stays lined up with the shoulders, and the movement comes from the ribs. Then you're going to hold your next curl up. So you're up, and then you're going to exhale to twist to one side, and then you inhale to come to the middle. And then the other side. Trying to keep the legs still, the pelvis still. Still, hopefully still neutral. And again, the movement is through the ribs. One more on each side. And then you're going to release it down, arms out to your side, spine twist. You can do it with your feet and legs together with the feet on the ground, inhaling to lower the legs to one side, exhale to bring the legs back up. Remembering that one foot does come off the ground with this one. You can make it harder by doing it in your tabletop position. So legs are together, you're still neutral, and then you're lowering the legs, trying to keep the kneecaps the same height. So your thighs, one thigh doesn't look smaller than the other when you rotate. You've got to really kind of have a look at the knees when you do this one. It's hard to kind of to judge it. But when you're doing your spine twist, your arms and shoulders are glued to the mat, and you're trying to lift your hip away from the mat. We're going to do one more on each side. This is a great way to stretch out. And then you're going to hug both knees into your chest, just for a quick break. And then you're going to keep the legs in a tabletop in an imprint, so that the lower back is pressed into the mat. Your knees should be straight up above your hips, and knees bent 90 degrees, okay? Try to keep that imprint, hands come behind your head again. Exhale, curl the head and shoulders up. Release it down. If this is too much for your back, for your hips, bring your feet on the floor. And just keep continuing with the same one. So it's hard to just literally keep this tabletop position. It's hard enough, and then you're adding the ab curl. 3 more. 1. So I always say slow and painful, right? 2. 3. And then bring the legs back down for a second. Arms are going to be along your side. Imprinting again, lifting your right knee up so it's bent straight over your hip in your half tabletop position. And then on an exhale, scoop the abs in with the other leg up. So you feel solid through your core. The bottom of your ribs or the back of your ribs are just pushing into the mat a little bit. It's quite heavy. And then exhale, tap and up. So as your leg reaches away, you're not letting your ribs pop up from the floor. Keep going, but reach your arms to the ceiling this time. Now, without letting your ribs pop, you're going to reach both arms behind you as you tap. And up. Just naturally, you're going to want to arch your back. Your ribs are going to want to lift towards the ceiling a little bit. So I really want you to focus on keeping your ribs closed and your abs strong as the arms reach behind. If you don't feel your abs working, you've probably let your back arch a little bit. You lost your imprint. 2 more. 1 more. Perfect, and then bring everything back down. All right, we're going to lie on your side, starting on the ground quite a bit today. You're going to be lying with bottom arm straight. Both knees are bent, so the knees are slightly in front of you, and your hips are stacked. Waist is lifted. So you've got that little bit of a lift in the side of the waist. And then we're going to start by exhaling, lifting the top leg up and down. So I always call these Jane Fondas. But nice work on the side of the hip. But also focusing on keeping, because you're keeping your waist lifted, your spine is straight. And you are working those little muscles that stabilize your spine. 3 left on this one. 1. Just getting the hip warmed up here. 2. Hold it up. Now lower about halfway. Lift it up. And down. Keep the waist lifted and the abs engaged. Hopefully you're starting to feel the side of the leg work a little bit. 5 more. 5. 4. 3. 2. Hold it up so it's higher than kind of neutral, and then lower and lift for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Ooh, and then bring it all the way back down onto your stomach. So we're going to work through our breaststroke prep. So legs are straight, hands are beside your head, elbows are down, and your head is just slightly lifted. Take your shoulder blades and think of sliding them down and together, almost like you're putting them in your back pockets. And then keep your elbows down and your hands down. Inhale, just float your head and chest up. So the chest lifts almost up and forward. You should be looking kind of towards the back of your mat, but not straight ahead. So nice and long through the back of your neck. And then you exhale to lower. Okay, legs are relaxed. Okay, inhale, float up, and lower. This is you're supposed to feel this a little more in the middle of your back. It's not a lower back extension exercise, so your butt shouldn't be squeezing, your legs shouldn't be lifting. It's just this little float up. And exhale, reach away. If you want to make it harder, you're going to float the arms up at the same time. And down. You're probably not going to get up as high. That's fine. It's a great way to work those mid-back muscles. 3 more. Perfect. Press yourself up and just sit back. Quick stretch before we do the other leg lift. So you're lying now on your other side. Bottom arm is straight, knees are bent in front, hips are stacked, and you want to lift the side of your waist. So starting with a full and down. So as your top leg lifts, don't let that waist collapse into the mat. And then just think of an abdominal engagement, right? 3 more. 1, 2, hold your next one up. 3, and then don't come all the way down, but almost down, and then back up. And again, just trying to work the side of the butt. Some people feel this a little bit more in the side of the leg or the back of the leg. 5 more. 1, 2, 3, so you're not resting in between, right? 4, hold the next one up, and then just come back to neutral, and then up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, 1, and then release it all the way down, and then go back onto your stomach again. So this time your arms are going to be at your sides, hands are touching your thighs, okay? So you're almost reaching your fingertips towards your feet and very gently pressing into the side of your thighs. And then on an inhale, the head and chest lift again, shoulders, think of your shoulder blades coming together a little bit, and then exhale down. So it's inhale, float, and down. Legs aren't lifting, bum's not squeezing. It's just, again, that little bit of work, or not a little bit, but it's the work in the mid-back. And it's just a little lift. Just think of reaching out through the top of your head. You're trying to feel like the back of your neck is lengthened as opposed to lifting your chin and shortening the back of your neck. 3 more. Keep that gentle press in the arms, or into the hands, I should say, the hands into the thighs. Sure, it's not Monday. Last time. Perfect. Come back up onto the hands and knees into your tabletop position. I want you to tuck the tailbone under around the spine and allow the head to drop. Take a deep breath. Exhale, uncurl the tailbone, lengthen out the spine, let the head lift. Last time. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under, draw the abs and ribs up to the ceiling as the head lowers. Take a really deep inhale to hold it, and then you're exhaling to uncurl the tailbone, lengthen out the spine, and then lift the head up. Perfect. And then sit back under the heels, walk your hands forward, and just stretch. Hopefully in the shoulders. And then you're going to pop up, and we're going to come sit in the center of the mat for the half roll back series with a little bit of a twist. So legs are going to be hip width apart. Use your hands for the first part just to allow your upper back to sit tall. So you want the weight on your sit bones. You don't want to be tucked back. Okay, and you can use the hands, like I said, just help you lengthen up, and then reach them arms in front, palms face in. You're going to exhale and you're going to start rolling back by tilting through the pelvis, rolling off the sit bones into your tailbone. So your spine is in this lovely C curve. Take an inhale. Exhale, tuck the ribs back as you flex forward. Keep the arms lifted. And then inhale. Try to restack your spine up straight now without using the arms to help. So it's exhale, roll. Inhale, hold. Exhale, tuck back. Just kind of taking you right back to basics here. Restack the spine up. Last one. Exhale, roll. Inhale, hold. Exhale, flex forward. Restack it up. Now we take it up a notch. Exhale, roll. Take an inhale to hold it. Exhale, reach one arm up and down. Keep your feet in contact. As your arm reaches up, think of your shoulder stays soft. Doesn't lift up to your ear. One more in each arm. You're going to take an inhale to hold it here, and then an exhale to dive forward again. Restack the spine up straight, and then see if you can get your arms to almost frame your head. The elbows can be slightly bent, palms are still facing in. Draw your shoulders down. Exhale, roll it back. Take an inhale to hold it. Exhale, twist and open your arms. Inhale, center. Exhale, open. And center. So you're adding your spine twist. And in. You're still getting that strong tuck in the pelvis. 2 more. reach the arms up, take an inhale. Exhale, dive forward again. And then restack the spine up straight. Palms facing the ceiling now. Think of opening the chest, elbows are slightly bent. Exhale, tuck and roll back. Then I want you on an exhale to sweep your hand down towards the floor and then up and back. And then forward, and then other side. So it's exhale, sweep. Almost like you're drawing a semicircle or a half moon. Down and up. Down and up. So you're getting that twist, the legs are still, your knees should not be touching each other. Keep those legs hip width apart. One more on the other side. Your palms are still facing the ceiling. I want you to start to lift your arms up. Keep tucking, keep tucking, keep tucking. Turn your palms in towards each other now. Keep tucking. Your abs should be shaking, I hope. Mine are. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold over again. Reach to your feet. Perfect. Roll yourself up. Straighten your legs and roll to the mat. Reach the arms behind and just give it a little bit of a stretch. Perfect. All right, we're going to flex the feet, so really press through the heels. The arms are going to reach to the ceiling to start. You're neutral in your pelvis, and the back of your ribs are kind of touching the mat a little bit. You're going to inhale, bend your elbows down to the side of your waist, almost like a bicep curl. And then you're going to exhale, head and shoulders lift, arms reach, and you're going to roll up. If you're having issues rolling up, grab a couple cans of beans or weight in your hands. It will help you. And then I want you to start to bend your elbows to your waist as you roll down. This is where it's going to get harder. So tuck, 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 tuck. Once you get down, you can reach your arms to the ceiling. So if you have weight in your hands, it's going to help you roll up. It's going to make it harder to roll down though. So as you inhale to start to tuck and roll back, your elbows come into the waist. And then you exhale, reach it up. It's all about the breathing, right? Press through the heels. Scoop the abs in. I always think of tucking my ribs in, especially on the way up. It's like, scoop them in and up. Two more. The breathing helps, trust me. The last one. Awesome. And then hug your knees into the chest when you're done and roll yourself all the way back up. And we're going to come onto our hands and knees again into a kind of a leg pull front, which is in a plank position. So hands are under your shoulders, knees are going to start back behind your hips, and they should be about shoulder width apart. So you're kind of in a semi-half plank position. You're going to tuck your toes under and really make sure your shoulders are over your wrists. On a breath out, you're lifting the legs up and extending them straight. That's the main movement, right? It's not lifting your bum, okay? It's extending, almost pressing out through the backs of your knees. So your hips move a little bit. But the emphasis is the extension of the legs. And down, right? And it can be done with your elbows down. If this position just doesn't work for you, remember, hands in a fist. Just brings you slightly higher. Two more. Last time. You're going to bring yourself down and just sit back for a second on the heels. Perfect. And then we're going to hold our plank position and we're going to be bending one knee in towards your chest. But remember, your feet, knees, hips, and shoulders should stay in one tracked line. So we're going to lift it up. Look at your feet. Make sure your feet, knees, hips, and shoulders are lined up. You're not rolled onto the pinky baby toe. The weight is in that thick part of the ball of your foot. You're in the strong plank position. Then you're going to exhale, bend one knee in and back. But your leg is slightly off center of your body, right? Your knee is still lined up with your shoulder. People have a tendency of just bringing the knee into the center. And I want you just to reach it straight forward. If you're not sure, watch a couple. and then come back to it. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, last one. Press the heels to the floor. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees down and again sit back. Stretch it out. Awesome. Okay, ladies and gents, we're going to do our ab series. So single leg, double leg, and crisscross. So your head and shoulders are going to be lifted for this one. You're imprinted. Both legs are lifted. Okay, knees are bent shoulder width apart. It can be done with your head down if your neck gets too angry. Exhale, bend one knee and extend the other leg straight. We ready? And switch. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Make sure the legs are still shoulder width apart. 2, 1. Keep yourself lifted. Both knees are bent. Curl the head and shoulders up. Use your hands to pull your chest forward. Exhale, reach both arms back, both legs out. Circle the arms around, bend the knees in. And in. Keep the legs together. Think of squeezing your knees together. If it gets into neck, you're still going to get a lot of ab work in this position if you keep your imprint. 3 more. 3, 2, last one. 1, bring your hands behind your head. Bring those legs back, hip distance apart. Exhale, bend and rotate. Crisscross. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. And 10. Perfect. Relax it down. Hug the knees in. That was awesome. And then bringing the feet down. Legs are going to be hip width apart. We're going to go into our shoulder bridge position. So staying neutral. Arms resting at your side, palms facing the floor, open the fingers up. You want to be able to gently press into the mat as you lift up. So you're lifting up, think of wide through the chest, both glutes are strong, lower down. So just starting with this one. So up and down. At the top of your lift, make sure that it's your glutes squeezing to push you up, not arching your back. Okay, so at the very top, you should really feel those glutes activate. Hold your next one up. If this is too difficult, just go back to lifting and lowering. You're going to do the marching. So peel the heel and the ball of the foot off. Bend the knee over your hip without letting your opposite hip drop. And then ball of the foot and heel comes down. So you're trying to keep your hips lifted. And you're trying to avoid rotating side to side through your pelvis. You're just trying to stay solid and still as you march. So it's abs and glutes. And back. Always focus on that opposite glute squeezing. If your hamstrings are cramping, especially, make sure the glutes are working. 1 more each side. You're doing great. 1, 2. Now both feet are still on the mat. The hips are still lifted. The butt is squeezing. And I want you to reach your arms all the way back behind you again, just like our warm-up, and roll the spine down, 1 vertebrae at a time, all the way through. Perfect. And then doing our figure 4 stretch. So ankle on your thigh, pull the legs in towards you, and give those butt muscles a little stretch. And then we're going to switch. So again, ankle on the thigh, pull the legs in. Sweet. Awesome. And then we're going to roll ourselves up. Cool. And then we're going to go onto our side for a little bit of a side plank position. So the elbow is going to be bent under your shoulder. The bottom knee is going to stay bent. Top leg is going to be straight. So make sure the insides of the knees are together and your foot is flexed. So when you lift up, the inside of your top foot should be on the mat, not just the toe. Okay, the whole foot. So it's flexed, shoulder and elbow are lined up, and the top hip is lifted. Perfect. Top arm is lifted. This is our side plank position. Now I want you to squeeze whatever knee is bent, the bottom leg, squeeze that butt muscle. Okay, you can squeeze both if you want, but make sure that one and the bottom one is squeezing. And then I want you to point your foot, lift your leg, flex your foot, lower your leg. Inhale, point, exhale, flex. So your bottom hip's working, your bottom shoulder's working, your bottom waist is working. 5 more in your top hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, last one, 5, and then you're going to come all the way down, straighten both legs and reach them forward on an angle. So legs are together, hips are stacked, waist is lifted. Lift your top leg up for our single leg kick. So inhale, inhale, point and reach. So trying to keep strong through the front of the abdominals, back stays straight as your leg moves through the hip. So keep the leg lifted hip height. Don't let it drop down as it gets tired. 4 more. 2 more. Last one. Perfect. Now both legs together. Hips are stacked, waist is lifted, hand can be in front or it can be up like this. You're going to exhale, reach both legs up at the same time and lower. So the idea is if you've got your hand in front of you, you start doing it with like 2 fingers, then 1 finger, then just kind of there in case, and then work into lift like that. Okay? The idea is not to use your upper body to stabilize you, it's to use your abdominals and your hips. 3 more. 1, 2, last one, and 3. Now roll onto your back. Before we do the other side, we're going to work through some abs. Woohoo! So hands are going to come behind your head. You're going to imprint, lift one knee up so it's bent over your hip and it's lined up hip, shoulder width apart. Okay, so in your tabletop position, exhale, curl the head and shoulders up, extend the legs straight. Inhale, bring it in. So you're still imprinted, right? Now you can do this neutral. If you can hold neutral, then try it neutral. Otherwise, stay imprinted. Really think of squeeze the legs straight, especially if you're tight through the hamstrings. This is a great way to help stretch it through. 3 left on this side. 1, 2, last one, and 3. Coming down, and again, either you're neutrally imprinted, leg is up, it's hip width apart, and up. So keep the leg, it's again, slightly off center. Your foot, your knee, your hip, your shoulder are in one long line. Your foot doesn't start to drift into the center of your body. This is going to challenge you not to kind of tip to one side. 4 left. 1, 2, 3, last one, and 4. Perfect. Roll yourself up, and you're going to go other side, side plank. So getting that elbow under your shoulder, bottom knee bent, hips are stacked, flex your foot so the inside of your foot is touching, and then you can point the foot and lift, flex and lower. Again, this works both hips. Works your shoulder, works your waist, it's a great one. I tend to do most of the side planks with the bottom knee down because I find it helps people isolate a little bit better in their waist. It's not so difficult on their arms. 1 more to go. And then you're going to bring yourself all the way down. Bottom arm is straight, both legs are straight, but they're angled in front of you. Hips are, or waist is lifted, hips are stacked, right? Our usual position. So top leg is going to come up hip height. Inhale, inhale. So it's 2 little kicks. In. As you're reaching the leg in front and behind, the back isn't changing its shape. So the back's staying nice and straight. You're not arching or rolling forward. So butt muscle squeezes as your leg comes behind. Keeping that top leg lifted hip height. Don't let it drop as it gets tired. 3 more. 2. Last one. Perfect. Both legs together, but lined up with the rest of the body. Hip is lifted, waist is lifted, hips are stacked again. Exhale, reach. And again, if you're using the arm in front, start to progress yourself where you're holding it with 3 fingers, 2 fingers, 1 finger, and then the arm lifted, right? My bad side. And again, this is a great one for your stability, your core, your hips. 4 left. 1, 2, 3. Last time. 4. Perfect. And then rolling back onto your back. I actually want to stretch that muscle again. So ankle and your thigh, pull the legs in for a little quick hip stretch. A little extra butt work today. And then switch legs. Plus, this is my favorite stretch. It's a good one. All right. So now we're going to do some rollovers. So we're going to do 5 rollovers. I like to start slightly forward of the mat because I tend to slide all the way back. Do what you need to do, but we're going to start, arms are resting at your side, palms are down, okay, because you do want to use those arms to help with your roll up. And we're going to bring our legs into a tabletop position, so legs are together. You want to be neutral in your pelvis to start. We're going to do the one where we tuck our knees in. So you're going to inhale, imprint, knees tuck in. The exhale is when you roll back and your legs extend straight. So legs are straight. Flex your feet, open them up hip distance apart, and roll down. As controlled as you can. Once you're down, the legs come together, and you go back to your tabletop. So inhale, exhale. Try to get those legs really straight to stretch out through the back of the hamstrings. Open up, feet flex, and roll. We're doing 5. Feel free to do more if you'd like. But really focus on quality movement. I've got 2 more. That's my 5. Feel free, like I said, to do some extras if you'd like. And when you're ready, you're going to roll yourself all the way back up. And we're going to finish up with the saw. So the saw, you're going to be sitting. I think you're sitting with your feet slightly wider than your hip bones. Your feet are flexed. If you're tight through the hips a little bit, you can bend the knees slightly to be able to sit up nice and tall. Arms are out, shoulder, not shoulder width, but you know what I mean, lined up with your shoulders. You're going to inhale, turn to one side. Exhale, reach the outside of that foot. Turn your back palm to the ceiling, and we're going to do 3 pulses. So exhale. Inhale, restack the spine and come to the center. Exhale, twist. Reach and pulse. Inhale, restack up. Rotate and reach. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. And it's a controlled pulse. So you should feel like you're leading the movement. It's not straining your back. Restack it up. One more on the other side. Twist and reach. 1, 2, 3. Restack. Bring it up. Perfect. And then bring the legs just in front of you. Knees bent if you need to. Sit up nice and tall. Hands resting on the legs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let your chin sink to your chest. And just start to fold yourself forward into your spine. Stretch forward, reaching far with the arms. Take an inhale when you get down there. And then exhale, draw the abs in towards your spine and restack your spine up. Take another inhale. This time, reach your arms to the ceiling. Exhale, roll forward. Inhale. Exhale, restack it up. Last time, reach the arms again to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, fold it forward, reaching. Stay down here this time. So grab on anywhere you can. Relax through the shoulders. Think of kind of allowing your shoulder blades to separate more. So because you're holding onto the legs, you've got a little leverage. You're just trying to stretch through that upper back. The head is dropped slightly, but it's not completely collapsed down. So you just want to have kind of a controlled head drop and just really trying to stretch through the middle of the shoulder blades. And when you're ready, you're going to roll yourself all the way back up, roll the shoulders, and you're done. That was great. Thanks again for joining me, and the studio is still posting our free mat work classes on YouTube. And the Pilates Studio Cayman. So if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel and check out we've been posting them for a couple months now. And every Tuesday, Thursday on Facebook as well. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you next time.